coach and author and speaker and social entrepreneur, Michelle Cotton. Come on, Michelle.
That was so awesome. Like, you guys, every time I wear these hoop earrings, let me just be honest, my mask get caught up in my earrings. But oh my goodness, that was beautiful. Thank you. I feel like somebody. Have y'all met people make you feel like you somebody? Oh, thank you. Absolutely, because I am. Well, first and foremost, I want to give God all the glory, and I want to say thank you to Miss Demetria.
Yes,
because I had a wonderful event on Eventbrite, and I said, okay, I have to be a part of this event. How do I do this? So I reached out to her, and she was kind, and I'm not mistaken, but she was like, I got one more spot left, or somebody couldn't make it. I can't remember how. When I was like, oh Lord, it's for me, it's for me. So I was super excited to be invited and just to join you ladies. I wish I could have been for the whole weekend because it's just beautiful and the spirit, and you could just feel the energy in this home at this retreat. So I'm just so happy to be invited with you guys. So like Dr. K said, I am a personal development coach. And I don't do these podiums and all this type of look. I gotta be natural, so but I am a personal development coach, and what I do is, like she explained in my bio, I help people just reach their next level. Because I was just like the average person. I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm like, Lord, what's my purpose? I felt like I'm 39 years old. I felt like it took me forever to find what it was God had called me to do. And I was like, I'm doing everything. I don't have 1,000 jobs, y'all. I kept one job though for 16 years, and it taught me a lot of the basic things, but what I didn't realize that I was learning how to build relationships through my journey. And so I kept saying, wow. So as I began to get older and mature, I realized that I was talking to people, and people would come back to me and say, Michelle, you helped me, you told me this, I went out and tried it, and it worked. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, well, why can't I do that for me? You know, I don't really get it. Like, I'm helping everybody else, and I feel like I can help myself, and that's my mom there. So she can tell you that I was just a struggle child at some cases. She's like, Lord, you keep me on my knees in prayer, Michelle. And I'm like, probably still do, right, Mom? Right. So I learned just through life experience and me talking what my purpose was. Because from what people was giving me feedback, and just really what God was downloading to me, he kept saying, your gift is for you to minister by coaching people, minister through help. And I would always say, why am I going through all these trials? Why am I always experiencing what seemed like the negative part of life? I'm like, I want the abundance. I want the overflow. I want all these great things. He was like, not right now. You'll get it. He was like, but not in this season. I'm like, is this season gonna come? Because I just felt like I was out there. But what it brought me to this retreat. And this thing, Demetria, is just phenomenal. The Refuse to Lose retreat. Now, how many people felt like they done lost a lot, failed a lot, made a ton of mistakes? Like, I know I'm not the only one, right? So when I saw this thing, I said, Lord, I've been there. I've been that person who just refused to lose, even though I could have been at my lowest point. I said, I don't know how to quit. And I'm like, why don't I know how to quit? Sometimes I want to throw in the towel. I want to give up. I want to say, screw it all. I cannot do this anymore.
Yep.
Who had that oh Lord moment like me? I've had that oh Lord, but y'all know what the oh Lord moment is. It's the oh Lord, I can't do it, right? Oh Lord, how much longer? Oh Lord, how long? What is it going to cost me, right? And my oh Lord moment, I've had several, let me be honest. It's been in the bed, on the floor, in my mama's lap, on the sofa, in the kitchen. Because I was like, well, what is happening? What is my assignment? Why am I going through all this? And he said, because you refuse to lose. He said, because you deserve to win.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I got it, and I liked it. And so I began to train myself. I began to become more teachable. I began to pray for patience, and y'all, have y'all did the patience prayer? If you don't want to go through tests, let me pull out the clarion call. Do not pray for patience, because you'll be tested in every area of life.
That's right.
And so he tested me in patience. He tested me with experience. I began to get in my word, I began to develop my prayer life, and I began to develop a relationship with him first. And by me developing that relationship with him, I began to see the purpose, the vision. What outweighed money, what outweighed husbands and children and spouses and all these things, it was my relationship with him. And my purpose was big. And to refuse to lose, your purpose has to outweigh anything. And I know we all say, we want wealth, we want the abundance. That's what God tells us, right? He came that we may have life, that we may have it more abundantly.
Right.
And that's a very true statement. He did come for that. But sometimes it seems like, when are we going to get to that season? Right? But your purpose is going to be what drives you to that season. So knowing that you deserve to win, I said, okay, that's why I don't quit. That's why you can't throw in the towel. That's why you refuse to lose. Because you deserve to win, right? So I began to think about it a little bit more, and I said, okay, Lord, let me correct you. I didn't start nothing. But you started Renew with Purpose and Restore Personal Development Coaching, LLC, because I do truly believe that he just gifted me and graced me to manage my entrepreneurship of my business, but he is the CEO of my business. He's the head, right? And so I began to think about it, and so I took the word renew, and I said, Lord, I can make it into an acronym, because a lot of people call me acronym queen. Now, I work with a lot of networks, and they say, you can come with an acronym for everything. I'm like, well, it's not me, but I probably can come with an acronym for everything. And so with renew, my thing is, I wanted to come here today and give all of you some action steps on how you win, like how you get there, because it sounds really good. Oh, everybody's supposed to win. We're all champions. We all victorious and triumphant. It sounds really good until you hit that rock bottom. It sounds all grand until you are no money, can't pay your bills. It sounds wonderful to say, but it is incredibly hard to keep pushing. It's incredibly challenging to keep going. And so some things that helped me along, again, with developing my prayer life and establishing my relationship with Christ was to recharge. That's the first R in renew. So how do we recharge? Again, I had my oh Lord moment, and I said, I have to become inspired daily. Daily. How do you become inspired daily? Right? This is an everyday thing. Mama, you can check my time. I think I left my cell phone over there by you. But how do you become inspired daily? You have to start to feed your spirit with the positive things. You got to begin to transform your mind. And this is a daily thing that you have to do. No one's going to do it for you. No one's going to get up and have the tenacity to do what you need to do. Whatever your vision is, we have to understand that's your vision. Your vision is not my vision. My vision ain't your vision.
Right.
And so for us to reach the destiny or full potential of where God has us going in our assignment, we have to be the ones to see that. Mm-hmm. How do you get recharged? You got to start putting in those things every day, those positive things. It starts here. It's a mentality shift. If the mind ain't right, because mindset matters, correct? Do y'all agree with me? Mindset matters, right? Yeah. If your mindset is not right, you might as well stop refusing to lose because you losing.
Yeah.
Because you got to just go ahead and get your mind right. How do we do that? It's what we're putting in. It's what we're saying. Every day, we can be so casual. But someone once told me, one of my mentors, they said, Michelle, if you operate your business, if you operate your relationships and networking as casual, guess what happens?
It's because casual.
You become a casualty.
Yes. Yes.
And when she told me that, I said, well, that's not me, because first of all, I'm not no average, ordinary person. I am above average. I'm extraordinary. So I definitely can't become a casualty in my own vision because I'm so casual. So what I had to do, I had to find some integrity. And I'm not talking about the integrity that's honest. I'm not talking about the kind that's forthcoming. Yes, integrity is a great word, but I'm talking about the grit. The grit. If you say on integrity, grit is in there. What is grit? Grit is your firmness in your mind. Yes. That means when you're firm, that means you cannot be shaken, you cannot be stopped, you cannot be moved, right? Amen. You have to be firm in your mind, and it's unyielding courage. Who has unyielding courage? Now, we know we can go to the Bible sometimes. We got several people who just had courage, but we're talking about you. We're talking about your unyielding courage. We're talking about your faith. Right. We're talking about you being recharged. Right? How do you do that? What's the next step, Coach? Your next step is to have energy and motion. So that's the E-N and the other E, right, of renew. And the N is too. It's new because in behold, I make all things new. But again, be ye transformed by the renewing of what?
Your mind.
Your mind, right? So you have to put energy into what you do. Energy is always flowing. Energy is like the water. It's like the ocean. It's currency. You want to see currency flow through your finances? Put some energy behind it. You want to see currency flowing in your family dynamic? Put some energy into it. You want to see your marriage last? Put some energy into it. You want to develop great business and personal relationships? Put energy in motion. Begin to let it work for you. So what you do, you recharge. You got your energy in motion. And these are the steps that's going to get you to what? Your destiny. Your vision. Why? Because we refuse to lose, right? Why do we refuse to lose? Because you deserve to what?
To win.
Absolutely. Y'all could teach this all by yourself. Y'all need it. And so this is what we got to begin to do. The other thing is when you're being recharged and you're putting your energy in motion, we got to remember the language that we're saying. I follow Jim Quick. Does anybody know who Jim Quick is? He's a brain, coach, therapist, but he was diagnosed brain dead at age 9. Couldn't function in school, couldn't get along with people, couldn't build networks, nothing like that. As he grew up, he began to get some functionality back, but he wasn't at full capacity, right?
Sorry.
So what ended up happening, I knew it was going to happen. I ain't even sorry.
I'm so sorry.
But as he grew older and they began to work with, like brain doctors, neurologists, things like that, he began to get some of it back. However, he was never at full capacity. He went on to go to college, but he was just bombing. He was failing so bad at college. And he developed the program. He said, how can I learn? I want to learn. I want to be normal and do what everybody else do. I want to be able to hold down a job. I want to be able to graduate college. How do I do these things? He began to research about the brain. And so one of his biggest things that he quotes all the time, he says, look, your negative self-talk is what's going to stop you. It's like a program that you repeat and recite to yourself over and over again. So when you say I can't, you're programming your mind for that. When you say it ain't working, you're programming your mind for that. When you're saying I quit, this is stupid or whatever, you're programming that. You're putting that in and that's what's going to come out. So you can give 100% that you think, but you're really only giving 20, 30% because you've already fed your spirit with those negative self-talk, right? So we got to begin to affirm ourselves. What do? I'm a big believer in the I ams, right? I believe I am a child of God. I am wonderful. I am productive. I am good. We can recite the affirmations all day long. And you should, daily. Y'all gonna see my bathroom is posted. You really can't brush your teeth or nothing because it's posted notes all everywhere, with scriptures and with, just positive stuff that I try to reflect on every day. And I begin to recite. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am wise. I walk around this and I say these things every day because I have to put these things in me so they can come out, right, in my energy and motion. This is what I'm putting out into the atmosphere. Why? Because you reap what you sow, so I'm sowing positive, right? Because I want to reap that as well. So, with your self-talk, you got to affirm yourself. How do you do that? I get in the mirror every day when I can see myself because I may have to move some stuff. But I brought this mirror simply because we can get in the mirror, and I used to do this, and I would say, but I didn't really believe it. And I would look around, I could see everybody being successful except me. Or I could see people just really moving forward, or even what it appeared to be in my perception. They got the nice home, they had the nice car, their business seemed to be thriving, their family seemed to be thriving. I'm like, are they tapping into something different? I forgive freely. I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm going internal now. I'm like, what you want me to do? Just to not be so naive. Now I'm trusting people and things like that. So I started to deal with more of the eternal stuff, but it still wasn't working. I'm like, why am I saying but I don't believe it. I don't believe I can do this. And then another great mentor to me, she came. She said, stop saying I when you look in the mirror. She said because you are tricking your mind because you already feel defeated when you say I. I said, no, I feel like I can do it. She's like, no, you don't. Because if you felt that way, that's what'll be coming out. You'll be fruitful. And I was like, well, you ain't got to be so blunt about it, But she said, start saying you. Because you're looking at you. You're talking to you. And she said, you gotta manipulate your mind because your mind has already been tainted and toxic and contaminated with so many wrong things. You gotta now reverse it. And she said, it's probably gonna take just as long as it took for you to get watered down for that truth to come out.
Say it.
And so she said, start saying you. She said, when you look in the mirror, she said, yeah, do your I ams. She said, when you look in the mirror, say you. And so I said, okay, I began to try it. I'm like, okay, let me see if it works. I'm not opposed to trying something. I'll see. I began to get in my mirror and say, you deserve to win. You are productive. You are beautiful. You are intelligent. And you guys, it began to work. It became a consistent habit.
Come on.
Right, consistent. Notice that key word. This is something that I did every day. I do it every day. This is present time. I do it all the time, every day. Feed myself. That's why I said, you refuse to lose. Because you deserve to win.
Yes.
And so now you're telling yourself that I believe I can do that.
Yes.
I absolutely believe I can do that. And now your performance will match what you're saying to you.